Jack's fingers trembled as he calibrated the quantum suture device, its blue light casting eerie shadows across the medical bay of the research station. Prometheus 7, the alien warrior, lay before him on the operating table, her crystalline exoskeleton fractured in 17 places, bioluminescent blood seeping through the cracks like liquid starlight. Her neural pathways are destabilizing, announced Arya, the station's artificial intelligence, her voice echoing through the sterile chamber. You have approximately 43 minutes before complete synaptic collapse. Jack wiped the sweat from his brow. 3 years of xenobiological training at the Interstellar Medical Academy hadn't prepared him for this. The Zelenari were considered myths, ghost stories told by deep space miners who'd ventured too far beyond the Kuiper Belt. Yet here she was, Melissa, that's what her translator chip had whispered, before shutting down a warrior from a civilization that existed between dimensions. Don't get too close, human, she had warned him when he'd first found her crashed pod in Sector 9. Her voice a harmonic frequency that bypassed his ears and resonated directly in his skull. My kind, we're not meant for your reality. But Jack couldn't abandon her. The Hippocratic Oath transcended species boundaries, at least in his mind. He activated the cellular regenerator, watching as nanobots swarmed across her wounds. The Zelenari physiology was unlike anything in the xenobiological databases. Her body existed in a state of quantum superposition, simultaneously solid and ethereal, present and absent. The scanner readings fluctuated wildly, sometimes showing her as pure energy, other times as complex biomechanical matter. Neural activity increasing, Arya reported. Warning, unknown radiation signature detected. It's affecting your limbic system. Dr. Jack felt a strange warmth spreading through his chest. Emotions that weren't entirely his own. Curiosity, gratitude, fear, they leaked from Melissa's consciousness like radio waves, her thoughts bleeding into his through some mechanism science hadn't yet quantified. He worked methodically, fusing the fractures in her exoskeleton with a polymer compound he'd synthesized from her own cellular matrix. Each repair brought him closer to understanding the impossible biology before him. Her body contained organs that shouldn't exist in three-dimensional space, a heart that pumped in 5 directions simultaneously, lungs that breathed dark matter, a brain that processed information across multiple timelines at once. 20 minutes passed. Melissa's primary consciousness began to resurface. You should have left me. Her voice resonated again, stronger now. Her eyes, 3 of them arranged in a triangle on what Jack assumed was her face, opened, revealing depths that seemed to contain entire galaxies. Do you know what you're doing, human? Saving your life, Jack replied, not looking up from his work. That's what I do. Life. She almost laughed, though the sound was like wind chimes in a storm. You understand so little. We Zelenari don't live in the way you comprehend. We exist across probability streams. This body you're repairing is merely one manifestation. Jack paused, the quantum suture hovering over a particularly complex fracture near what he thought might be her thoracic cavity. Then why warn me away? If this body doesn't matter, why does my proximity concern you? Melissa was silent for a moment. Jack could feel her thoughts brushing against his, not words, but impressions, mathematical concepts, emotional wavelengths his brain struggled to interpret. Because, she finally said, the closer you get, the more entangled our quantum states become. Already, I can feel your timeline wrapping around mine. In healing me, you're binding yourself to me across dimensions. Don't get too close, human. Not unless you're willing to sacrifice your singular existence. Jack's hand steadied. He'd read theoretical papers about quantum entanglement between conscious beings, but they were considered fringe science, mathematical fantasies. Yet here, with his own neurons firing in sync with an alien consciousness, theory became terrifying reality. Arya, he said quietly, what's happening to my neural patterns? Your brainwaves are synchronizing with the subjects at a rate of 3% per minute, the AI responded. At current progression, full entanglement will occur in approximately 16 minutes. Dr. Jack, I must recommend you cease all contact immediately. He looked down at Melissa. Most of her wounds were sealed now, her bioluminescent blood no longer leaking into local space-time. She would survive. He could stop now, maintain the boundaries of his singular, human existence. But one critical fracture remained, a spiderweb of cracks radiating from her central neural cluster. Without repair, her consciousness would fragment across the multiverse, scattered like seeds in an infinite wind. She would exist, but never whole, never complete. Jack made his decision. I'm finishing this, he said, moving the quantum suture into position. No, Melissa's voice resonated with genuine fear. You don't understand what you're choosing. You'll become like Mayan, stuck from linear time, existing in all possible moments simultaneously. You'll lose everything that makes you human. Maybe, Jack replied, his hands steady now, guided by something beyond mere medical training. Or maybe I'll gain something more. As he sealed the final fracture, Jack felt the boundaries of his consciousness expanding like a supernova. Suddenly he could perceive himself in the past, fixing the first wound, and in the future, watching Melissa's ship depart. He existed in all moments of this surgery simultaneously, his timeline becoming a circle rather than a line. Melissa sat up, fully healed, her 3 eyes reflecting infinite versions of Jack across infinite realities. You healed me, she said, wonder in her harmonic voice. And now, you're one of us. Jack smiled, though he was no longer entirely sure which version of him was smiling. You warned me not to get too close. I did, Melissa agreed, standing, her hand, if it could be called that, reached out, existing in multiple positions at once. But you chose connection over isolation. That's very human of you, was Jack corrected gently. Was very human of me. No, Melissa said, and for the first time he heard genuine warmth in her alien voice. Still is. You brought your humanity with you across the threshold. That's the gift you've given me, perspective from a singular timeline. And perhaps, the gift I've given you is freedom from it. In the medical bay of Prometheus, Arya recorded the moment Dr. Jack Chen ceased to exist in conventional space-time and became something newer. Bridge between human limitation and infinite possibility. The Zelenary warrior had warned him, but some distances, Jack decided, were meant to be crossed.